The radical power of vulnerability, why asking for help is the ultimate strength. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We live in a world obsessed with strength, with independence, with having it all together. We celebrate the entrepreneurs who work 80-hour weeks, the parents who juggle multiple responsibilities without breaking a sweat, the professionals who climb corporate ladders while maintaining picture perfect lives. We've created a culture that glorifies self sufficiency and stigmatizes asking for help. But what if everything we've been taught about strength is fundamentally wrong? I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Tameka Edwards, whose insights have completely transformed how I understand vulnerability, particularly for high achieving Black women navigating both professional ambition and complex personal lives. Tameka's work in this space is nothing short of revolutionary. She has courageously challenged our most deeply held assumptions about what it means to be strong, successful, and whole. Through her groundbreaking research and advocacy, she has created safe spaces for thousands of women to reclaim their authentic power by embracing their full humanity, vulnerabilities, and all. Her impact extends far beyond individual transformation. She is fundamentally reshaping how we understand leadership, success, and community care. The surprising truth that emerged from our conversation is this: embracing vulnerability and seeking support as a Black professional or entrepreneur is not a weakness. It is, in fact, a radical act of strength and self preservation. Let that sink in for a moment. Many of us, especially women of color, are conditioned to believe we must carry every burden alone. We're taught that asking for help somehow diminishes our competence, our worth, our very identity. This belief runs particularly deep when navigating complex family dynamics, cultural differences in marriage, health challenges, and professional demands simultaneously. But here's the counterintuitive reality: this strength at all cost mindset is actually making us weaker. It's killing us softly, one unshared burden at a time. When we refuse to open up about our struggles, whether parenting a child with special needs, managing long distance family relationships, or facing marital uncertainty, we don't just suffer in silence. We actively block the very connections that could fuel our resilience and success. We cut ourselves off from the collective wisdom, support, and care that humans have relied on since the beginning of time. This isn't just philosophical theory. The evidence is compelling and concrete. Consider Tameka Smith Hampton, a business consultant whose story exemplifies this principle in action. Hampton built her consulting brand while simultaneously juggling motherhood, including raising a child with special needs. She faced the triple challenge of managing demanding clients, supporting extended family across distances, and navigating marital strain due to cultural differences. The conventional wisdom would suggest keeping these personal struggles private, separating her professional and personal worlds with an impenetrable wall. But Hampton did something revolutionary instead. She chose vulnerability. She leveraged virtual project management tools to create more flexibility. She built an online network of fellow entrepreneurs specifically for emotional support. Most radically, she prioritized therapy and self care routines, making them non negotiable elements of her weekly schedule. I realized, Hampton shared, that pretending to have it all together was actually holding me back from truly having what I needed: connection, support, and authentic relationships. The results? Rather than weakening her business, this approach of openness and help seeking actually strengthened it. Hampton grew her consultancy through referrals from these supportive networks. She reported increased clarity in setting boundaries between work and family life. She successfully launched several major events post pandemic and became known as an advocate for mental health among Black professionals. By embracing vulnerability rather than hiding from it, Hampton didn't just survive, she thrived. She transformed her pain into purpose, her struggles into strength. But this isn't an isolated example. Let's look at Tameka Taylor, known in entrepreneurial circles as the connector. Taylor uses social platforms to counsel other business owners on persevering through challenges while acknowledging the invisible labor carried by many Black women leaders. Like many entrepreneurs, Taylor faced burnout from juggling her business responsibilities with familial obligations that often went unseen by others. But instead of perpetuating the myth that successful business owners never struggle, she made a different choice. Taylor publicly advocated for rest and recovery practices among leaders. She created peer groups specifically focused on mutual accountability and self care check ins. She normalized conversations around burnout prevention within her audience and community. The most powerful thing I ever did, Taylor confessed, was to stand in front of a room of aspiring entrepreneurs and say, I'm exhausted. I need help. And so do you. The silence broke, the tears flowed, and real connection began. The impact was transformative. She saw increased engagement around topics like boundary setting and self compassion. She launched workshops and webinars on sustainable entrepreneurship, targeting minority owned businesses during pandemic recovery years. Most significantly, she shifted the local entrepreneurial culture toward transparency regarding the mental and emotional workload carried by marginalized founders and leaders. Taylor's vulnerability didn't diminish her influence, it multiplied it. It didn't weaken her leadership, it revolutionized it. And this pattern extends beyond small business into national leadership. Consider Tameka D. Mallory, a nationally recognized movement strategist who navigates high pressure leadership roles while remaining vocal about needing community care and support systems amid activism work and life demands. Mallory faces intense public scrutiny and burnout from leading national movements. Simultaneously, she manages private caregiving responsibilities within her family circle, including aging relatives. The conventional approach would be to project unwavering strength, hiding any personal struggles behind a facade of invulnerability. Instead, Mallory regularly highlights the importance of collective action. She builds coalitions where members openly discuss holistic wellness, not just productivity metrics, in their organizing efforts. She authored a best selling memoir sharing the behind the scenes realities faced by movement leaders balancing public and private selves. Movement work, Mallory often says, is not sustainable without community care. The revolution will not happen if we're all too burnt out to show up. The result? Mallory has sustained advocacy impact over multiple years without sacrificing core values around self preservation and community healing. She was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in 2020. Most importantly, she helped shift national narratives around what sustainable leadership looks like for Black women at every level, from boardroom activism down to household management. These stories reveal three profound truths that challenge everything we think we know about strength, success, and sustainability. First, vulnerability is power. When we allow ourselves space to be open about personal and professional challenges, We don't appear weak. We create stronger support networks and develop more authentic leadership. The very act of saying, I'm struggling or I need help, creates connections that fuel our resilience and effectiveness. Second, you don't have to do it all alone. Seeking help from mentors, peers, therapists, or community isn't just acceptable, it's essential for sustaining both business ambitions and personal well being. The myth of the self made success story ignores the reality that every achievement is built on a foundation of support, whether visible or invisible. Third, your journey matters. Navigating life is what some call a married single woman. Balancing motherhood, including special needs parenting, managing cross cultural marriage dynamics, facing health battles within the family. These lived experiences aren't distractions from success. They're the very crucibles that forge unique strengths that fuel entrepreneurial and professional achievement. This perspective is particularly revolutionary within the context of Black women's experiences. Historically, the strong Black woman archetype has been both a source of pride and a burden, celebrating resilience while simultaneously denying permission to be human, to struggle, to need support. As Tameka Edwards so powerfully articulated in our interview, this isn't just about individual well being, though that would be reason enough. It's about sustainability, it's about longevity, it's about creating success that doesn't come at the cost of our health, our relationships, and our joy. The data supports this. Research consistently shows that leaders who practice vulnerability and authentic communication build stronger teams, foster more innovation, and achieve more sustainable results. Studies of entrepreneurial success increasingly highlight the role of support networks in business longevity and growth. But perhaps most compelling is what happens when we look at the alternative. The cost of maintaining the facade of invulnerability is staggering. Burnout, health problems, relationship strain, and ultimately diminished effectiveness in the very areas where we're trying to excel. I want to be clear. Embracing vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing every detail of your life. It doesn't mean abandoning boundaries or professional standards. What it does mean is rejecting the false dichotomy between strength and need, between success and support. It means recognizing that the truly strong person isn't the one who never needs help. It's the one who has the courage to ask for it. It means understanding that seeking support isn't a detour from your path to success. It's the very road itself. It means acknowledging that your full humanity, including your struggles, your needs, your limitations, isn't separate from your professional identity. It's an integral part of what makes you effective, insightful, and resilient. This is what Tameka Edwards calls the soft revolution, not a rejection of ambition or achievement, but a fundamental reimagining of how we get there. Not by grinding ourselves down to dust, but by building communities of care that lift us all higher. So I challenge you today, disrupt the narrative that says you must do it all alone. Rebel against the culture that equates needing help with being weak. Transform your understanding of what true strength looks like. Start by asking yourself, what will become possible in my life if I had the courage to be vulnerable? What dreams could I pursue if I weren't exhausted from carrying every burden alone? What impact could I have if I allowed others to support me as I support them? Then take one radical action. Ask for help, share a struggle, join a support group, hire a therapist, delegate a task, tell someone you trust, I can't do this alone. Because here's the truth that Tameka Edwards and countless others have discovered: your vulnerability is not your weakness, it's your superpower. Your needs are not your failure, they're your humanity. Your willingness to receive support doesn't diminish your strength, it multiplies it. The world doesn't need more exhausted heroes pretending to have it all together. It needs authentic, vulnerable leaders who model a new way of being powerful, one that embraces connection, community, and care. So today I invite you to join the revolution. Drop the cape, share the load, ask for help, and watch as your life and your impact transform in ways you never imagined possible. Thank you.